Paranormal, UFOs, extraterrestrials, conspiracy theories. Sit down, buckle up, hold on tight. You're about to listen to Out of the Box Podcast with hosts Jim Andre and co-host Bradley Powers from Esoteric Hours. And this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah.
We're here on Out of the Box Podcast. I'm Jim Andre, my co-host Bradley Powers, and special guest Nigel Impey. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Nigel. This is Nigel. Nigel Impey is a ufologist and an experiencer. He's experienced the most amazing of things, and he's here to share his amazing experiences with us right now. So, welcome, Jim Andre, alien abductee and quantum healer, and over to Nigel Impey. Nigel Impey, you're a ufologist. So, does that mean you've actually seen UFOs?
I see UFOs all the time, Bradley.
Wow, not many people could say that.
I started witnessing UFOs way back in 2014. It was pretty surreal, to be honest. I can't remember exactly what date it was, or what. I think it was sort of like it coming up for autumn of 2014, roughly about that sort of time. And basically, I'd been watching some of the UFO and Ancient Aliens programs, like with that guy, what's his name, Giorgio. I can't even pronounce his second name, but you know who I mean.
Yeah, okay.
The guy that looks like he stuck his fingers in an electric socket.
Yeah, you got that. You got that.
That hair, yeah. The wild hair. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been watching a load of that, and it basically got to about 11 p.m. at night, and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to make myself a hot drink, go out into the garden, have a smoke, and then go to bed. So I've gone in the kitchen, made my drink, opened the kitchen door into the garden, and I walked out, looked out, and it was like clear sky. I thought, oh, nice, yeah, no rain, so I can chill outside. So I've gone into the garden, and I've looked up, and there's all this beautiful night, clear, not a cloud, stars and that, and it's like really still, clear night. Thinking, yeah, great, perfect to relax and unwind before I go to bed. So I've gone and sat on a garden bench, and I took a sip out of my tea, and I've lit a smoke, and just relaxing. And I suddenly thought to myself, well, do you know what? It seems really, really quiet. A bit too quiet, in fact. I was like, there was no dogs barking. There was no, because sometimes even late at night, like you can still hear like birds twittering or, any sound whatsoever. But this night it was like weird. It was just like totally silent, nothing, no traffic noise, nothing. And I'm thinking, well, this seems a bit weird. Anyway, so didn't think anything more of it. So I'm sitting there drinking my tea, and I happened to. My house at the time was in a part of Northampton called Semilong, which is all the houses on a hillside, so they go downwards. So I'm sitting there looking down towards the end of the gardens, down the bottom of the street, and just above this building at the end of the street, I noticed this bright white ball of light, and I'm thinking, well, it looks too low and too bright to be a star, and it wasn't moving. And I'm thinking, well, it's not a plane because it wasn't. There was no navigation lights, totally silent. I'm trying to scratch my head, thinking, well, what the heck is it? So yeah, I'm just sitting there perplexed, thinking, what the heck is this thing? I literally looked down to grab me a cup of tea to take a sip, put my cup down, looked up, and I'm thinking, hang on, that just moved. That's not where it was before. And I'm then like transfixed on this thing. And as I've looked, I could see it was actually moving very slowly but purposely, as though it was under intelligent control. Yeah, the more I looked, the closer and closer and closer it got. And eventually it got right level with over the top of my head. And I've looked up and I couldn't make out any detail of it. All I could see was this great ball of light, white light. And then I stood up, turned around, watched this thing as it like tracked up the gardens towards the top end of the street before disappearing behind a big tree in somebody's back garden. And I'm left there, like, basically my jaw's down to the ground, and the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up, and I'm like, you know, without swearing, WTF was that, you know? And anyway, I was like, I've got to find answers. You know, what the heck have I just seen? Yeah. That wasn't normal, you know. So I basically I got onto Facebook and I did some searching around and found groups and whatever. And I was like, you know, obviously I wanted to find answers. So, you know, I joined as many UFO groups as I could, and friends and everything. And, you know, I got, you know, I wanted to see if anybody else had experienced things like this. And sure enough, obviously, I found a lot of people that had obviously witnessed different things. And so, yeah, started getting into all this. And I think it was about 3 nights later after my first sighting, I'm laying on the couch watching some TV. My partner had gone up to bed, so I was on my own. I don't even recall like falling asleep or anything. Next thing, it's like, bam, I'm not where I was. I'm suddenly, what I could see was I was in this darkish room with subdued light, and it was like the light source was actually coming from sort of like the corners of the room, like a glow down the walls, like it was like a bioluminescent sort of glow.
Yeah,
you know, like those glow sticks. Oh, that's the sort of glow it looked like. That sort of greenish sort of glow.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm actually sitting down, and in front of me is like one of these. It was like a table, but it was made out of like a brushed stainless steel, like a catering table.
Yeah.
Or you know, because I've heard about some people that have had experiences where they've actually been on like a medical table, which is sort of like made out of brushed stainless steel sort of thing, you know, like. But I wasn't actually laying on the table. I was sitting by the side of the table. Anyway, to the left, slightly to the left in front of me was basically what I can describe as one of the grey type aliens. But his skin wasn't totally grey. It was sort of more like a whitish sort of grey, you know.
Yeah.
And basically, there was no communication between me and this grey. He was just sat there, sort of like, he wasn't even looking at me. He was sort of like looking across. And then next thing, bearing in mind, this room didn't have any visible doors in it. I couldn't see any visible doorways. Next thing, from literally appeared out of nowhere from behind the grey, this 8 to 9 foot tall reptilian humanoid. If you look at my profile picture, basically the face looked like that, but instead of being like a grey colour, it was more like a greenish. And it had, I don't know if you know of a lizard called a green iguana.
Yeah, I've heard of iguana.
Yeah, basically it had scale patterns like that.
Yeah.
And literally he walked from behind the grey, and then I noticed he had about between 2 to 4 foot long tail, which started off thick and then went tapered down to a point.
We have a Facebook user, Vic. He's asking, do you have the ability to summon UFOs, Nigel?
Basically, I don't even have to summon them. They just appear to me. And they make their presence known when they're around.
Yeah.
I mean, I can be upstairs. I live in a first story apartment, and I can be laying there just chilling, watching TV. All of a sudden, I will hear a sound outside. You know, and basically they call me out to, like, I'll hear an aircraft that's flying literally just above. It sounds like it's literally right on top of my roof.
Yeah, we have another viewer, James Deem. He's asking, how tall was it, please?
Well, the reptilian, he was, as I say, he was between 8 to 9 foot tall, thick muscular body. He had thick legs which went down to clawed feet. He had clawed hands, but he was able to grip because he was actually holding something. I can't remember what it was he was holding. But yeah, he basically got level with where I'm sitting, right in front of me. He turned around, looked directly into my eyes, and I felt like a warm energy flow right through me, from head to foot. It was like a calming energy. It was like, and then in my mind, I was told, "Don't be afraid. We're not going to hurt you."
Right.
You know, and get this. This actually blew my mind. I was told that I was one of them.
Right. Some of the viewers are saying there's echoing, but I don't hear any on my end. Do you, Bradley?
No, neither do I. Neither do I, Jim.
No.
No echoing. No.
No. Yeah. So basically,
and so you were saying that these reptilians was with the gray, right? With the alien.
Yeah, he was with the grey. Yeah, there. And I've actually heard other people that have said that there are positive greys and there are negative greys. Now, apparently the reptilians, whether they be the good ones or the bad ones, have grey workers that work with them. So
James Deem is asking, oh, wait a minute. He's going to ask, I'll say, do you have lineage?
Oh, lineage. Yeah, yeah,
lineage lines, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was told that basically that I was placed here on Earth. I was placed into my mother. My consciousness was placed into the body of a human. So I'm basically what they describe as a hybrid, I guess.
I think we're all alien hybrids to a certain extent. I think we all have alien DNA. Yeah.
You know, and basically, I was told that I am actually. What I was told was I am an ambassador for Earth relations, and that I'm not allowed to disclose what planet our home planet is, because my people had to relocate to another planet because the Alpha Dracos drove us off of our home planet. And in doing
Lyrans? You're not Lyrans?
no. My lineage is from positive Vril, VRILL.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've heard of that name before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, we are of an ancient race.
Yeah, I was getting interested in that story you were telling us before we started streaming about the train station. What was that? You said
Right, yeah. The ghost encounter that I had. Basically, when I was young, still at school and that, during the summer holidays, me and a group of friends would go down to. There wasn't a lot to do in our town because it was a small little country town, so you had to make your own entertainment back in the day. So a group of us would ride about on bikes and general sort of like kid stuff. And one of the things was train spotting. I know it's a geeky, nerdy thing to do looking back, but anyway, we used to go and sit down by the side of the railway station, and we'd take the train numbers and whatever. Anyway, we got to know this guy who actually worked on the railway station. He was what they called back in the 80s. They called him senior railman. Basically, he was in charge of the day-to-day running of the railway, like the station, collecting the tickets, and so forth. And at the time, they didn't have all-night running of the train system. The last train in from London Euston to Tring Station, which is where I lived in Hertfordshire, was about midnight. Anyway, this one particular night, me and a group of friends used to keep this guy company at night when he was working nights, and we used to hang about in his station office and drink tea and just have a laugh and a joke about and stuff. Anyway, this one night, the last train came in. He had to go up the stairs from one platform across the footbridge to the northbound platform where the train from Euston came in. And he'd stand at the top of the footbridge while everybody disembarked from the train, walked up the stairs to the footbridge and left the station. So he'd collect the tickets from them. Anyway, all the people got off this train, went off, but we noticed there was one guy at the bottom of the set of stairs onto the platform. He looked like he'd just come straight from an office. He was wearing his suit. He was carrying a briefcase. And, he was just hanging about down the bottom of this platform. And we were like, what's this guy up to, Anyway, we shouted down to him, like, what's going on, mate? You've got to come up this, to get out of the station. No response. He just then started walking along the platform underneath the footbridge towards the end of the platform that would have gone straight onto the tracks, onto the side of the tracks. Bearing in mind, this railway station was the way he was going was heading towards the north, towards Milton Keynes, towards Birmingham. That's that direction. This railway line was set into a hillside, so they'd basically carved out a big chunk out of the hillside, which the banks of the hill were like this. They were like there was no way out. Anyway, so my friend is sort of like in a panic because like he's got this guy wandering on the tracks, like, you know. So he's gone running down to his platform office, gone on the phone to the line controller, and said, "Look, we've had a guy that's walked off the end of the platform onto the tracks." And he said to him, "Can you stop a train in the station? I'm going to go on the train with a railwayman's torch to see if this guy, you know, what's going on." So, yeah, he got a freight train stopped in the station. One of my friends that was with us had a car at the time. So it was like, you know, they'd not long past it. So he said to us, "Hop in the car, go up to the next railway bridge, which was about 1.5 miles along the track, and see if you can see anything." So we've gone in the car, got up to the next railway bridge to look and see what we could see down the tracks, and we couldn't see anything. He comes along in the freight locomotive, shining his torch along the tracks, and he got level with the railway bridge that we were at, came off the train, came up to the steps that went up to the bridge, and he said, "Did you guys see anything?" And we were like, "No." And we were like, "Did you see anything?" And he was like, "No, nothing. This guy just vanished."
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Just disappeared.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. We were all like, we got back to the station office, and we were like, we were all in shock. We were like, we just saw a damn ghost.
Yeah, that's right. You recognise that, yeah.
I mean, because, you know, putting everything into to pieces together, you know, for once he wasn't responding to our calls to come up to the bridge or anything. For two, he carried on walking off the edge of the platform. For three, there was no exit point that he could have literally, you know, the banks of the hillside were like near enough vertical, so he wouldn't have been able to climb up the banks. And then, you know, where did he go?
That's right. I've actually myself on 2 occasions, well, no, actually on 3, I've seen spiritual entities, not ghosts, but actually spirits that they were like materialized. They were like real. You couldn't see through them. I see the hallway lights were on in the hallway. The lights were on in the lounge, and it was standing by the door. I couldn't see through it. It was a real being standing there. That was a spiritual entity, and that's happened on 2 occasions to me. So, like, yeah, some spirits can actually materialize into this realm in the flesh.
Where did you witness this?
Well, one of here in this home right now, where I am now. Yeah, here. Yeah, on one occasion, and the other occasion was when I was 12 years old. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I looked and I sat up and I saw this druid priest sitting on my bed in a white gown. I could see the weave of the fabric of the cloth of the gown that he was actually wearing. I couldn't see through it. It was solid matter, you know. And I remember thinking, cool, what kind of a ghost are you? Where are you from? And telepathy, he used telepathy and spoke to me and said he's from Glastonbury, where King Arthur was buried. And like, he actually come to perform a sermon over me, you know, and like, wow, what an honor.
And that's when you say you were 12 at the time.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, most of my life I've encountered spiritual entities. I don't think I've ever seen a ghost. A ghost is a residual energy, probably doesn't even know it's dead. Where spiritual entities are conscious minds, intelligent. They know what they're doing. They know what they're about.
Yeah.
Because our consciousness never dies. When we cross over to the next life, we carry on living, but like obviously without a human body, because our body is a vehicle to access this realm. But like when we cross over, we lose our body, but our consciousness carries on. And like it's some spirits know how to manifest into this realm in the flesh. I know a story of a medium, a psychic medium. This woman, her son told the story when his mother died. The son actually told the story. His mother was a psychic medium, and she probably brought through 150 spiritual entities in the flesh. He said his father died, and he must have met his father like 6 or 7 times. She brought him through. He even hugged his father, believe it or not. I know it's a tall story, but it isn't a tall story because it's true.
No, I believe anything and everything about these phenomenon these days. You know, I mean, after what I've been through, at first I was a bit about ghosts and spirits, but after witnessing that one at the railway station, I was left. When I left that railway station that night, I had to cycle 1.5 miles along a country road on my push bike, and I was just in shock. I was like, and the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up, and this road that I had to cycle to get back home from the railway station, there was no street lighting. It was all overhung by trees, both sides. So there was a canopy of trees over the top. And I'll tell you what, I've never cycled so quick home in my life, because after that I was freaked out. I've just witnessed this guy that disappeared alongside a railway line. I'm like,
yeah. That sounds like a ghost to me, to be honest with you. A ghost probably had maybe committed suicide, died on the track.
Exactly. I mean,
in time.
Because I remember that before we had these sliding door trains, we on our railway line we used to have these old electric multiple trains, which were they used to have slam doors. Basically, you had to physically pull the window down, and then you had to turn a handle outside of the carriage to open the door.
Yeah.
So I'm actually wondering whether this guy was on his way home from work, from the office in London at one point, and before he actually opened the door of the train before the train had come to a halt in the station, and fell out of the train, or I don't know.
If you did some research, you might have found his like a deceased story of his like death.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
I might have to actually do that. I might have to actually, look into the history of our area and see if there was any like.
You should research that.
Yeah. I mean, I know there has been you know, in the past there has been some like major railway incidents in our area over the years. You know, I'm going back to even when the steam trains were still running. You know.
Yes, yes. James Dean says, you seem like a genuine guy, Nigel, and thank you for sharing your story. Thank you, James Dean, for sharing that with us. Yeah, Nigel Impey is on here, my Nigel Impey, because he is a genuine guy, in my opinion. I believe so as well. Jonathan Kipp said, that's wild, Bradley. I'd be tripped out. Yes, well, like I've had a life of quantum mysticism, I call it. I've been encountered a lot of many spiritual entities I've encountered over the years, and I've learned that anything is possible. That's what I've learned. I've been attacked by demonic entities. I've been punched in the face by a demonic entity, and I got punched in the face by a demon once, and I ended flat on my back. I'm a boxer. No one's ever put me down, and I got punched in the face by a demon once, and I got put on the ground. Yeah, put me down.
Well,
wow.
You were actually a boxer.
Yeah, I went to put my key in the front door of my home, my chapel. I went to put the key in the front door, and I looked behind me, and I went, "Who are you?" This demon come out the portal in the floor, and I said, "Who are you?" And the demon punched me in the face, and I went flat on my back, and I crawled away backwards to get away from it. I had to stay away from my front door for 3 hours to get for it to go. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to go near it because it just assaulted me, and I didn't know demons could do that, but they can. They can. Some spiritual entities, like shades as well, could throw you about the room if they wanted to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like those. You know, obviously, I've watched a lot of these. You know, movies on TV. You know, they're here. When what was it? Was that Poltergeist, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, poltergeist, like a poltergeist. Yeah.
Where the little girl's sitting in front of the TV watching the static, and then she just turns around and says, "They're here."
Yeah, that's right. Well, look, I've had a case of that.
I'll tell you what, that freaked me out. That did, watching that. I'll tell you. But I'll tell you something else that's happened to me as well. This was only happened to me a few. Well, I'd say maybe a week ago.
I
don't know what that is.
An airplane.
Do you know what? I think we're getting visitors somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it could well be. It's not impossible, you know. We've had that before. We've had paranormal interference without explanation on our show before. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on a podcast with Jessica Jones, the Cryptid Huntress, and she was saying on her show she often gets glitches.
Yeah,
that does every once in a while.
Yeah. She's one of her shows is actually called a glitch in the Matrix. What I was going to say was I had something happen to me about a week ago. Literally, I got up early in the morning. Our local shop, which is like literally a couple of minutes walk from where I live, I went to there at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's what time they open, because I wanted to get some cigarettes and I wanted to get a drink. So I've gone round there just before 5 a.m. And before I even got to the shop, on the same side of the street as me, there was these two guys walking towards me, and I looked at them because I'm thinking, hang on, there's never normally anyone sort of like about this time of the morning. You know, there's usually a couple of guys that go to the shop early to get their newspaper and whatever before they go to work. But these guys, there was something off about them. And as they walked past me, these two guys, one of them actually turned round, looked at me, and you're never going to believe what he turned round and said. He turned round and said, "There's Lizard Man."
There's Lizard Man?
Yeah, and I couldn't. Do you know what? I couldn't even make out facial features on them. And then this one guy that said, "There's Lizard Man," he turned round to the other one and they started laughing. And literally, I looked around to like, what the fuck are you, you know, sorry, my language. What the heck are you doing? You know, what you just said to me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And before I could even look, they disappeared.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, anything's possible. Yeah.
I reckon that they were possibly from I don't know, they could have been from the Men in Black or the Black Hats or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally they were there 1 minute and they couldn't have gone far because like it's a straight stretch of road, pavement, and you can see where they're walking, and it's like, and it was only a couple of seconds. I literally just looked round like, what's your problem, you know? And they weren't there.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that. No, anything's possible, Nigel. I was walking my dog once and someone tapped me on the head, right? And I turned around, there was no one there. Yet someone tapped me on the head when I was walking the dog. And I turned around, but there was no one there. And I was like, who are you? Who are you? Where are you? Show yourself. There was no one there. And like,
well,
you know.
I was on another cast with a guy that lives in the same town as me, a guy called Andy DeCodes. And he drives for a living. He works as he does delivery driving for a pharmaceutical suppliers. He delivers to all like hospitals and you know. He drives a transit van and delivers medication to like the hospitals, and he does private deliveries as well and that. And he was out somewhere. I think he said it was out Leicester way.
Yeah.
And he was driving his van and he was looking for where he'd got delivered to in this residential street. And he happened to look and he saw this old guy with a little white dog. He said it looked like one of those little Yorkshire Terrier dogs, yeah?
Yeah.
And he said he saw this guy walk across in front of his van with this Yorkshire Terrier dog. And when he got to the other side of the road, this guy had suddenly changed into a woman. Still with the same sort of dog.
Yeah.
He said there was nobody else about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Wow.
So this guy had suddenly morphed into a woman, but it still had the same dog.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, anything's possible. That's what I've learned. Terry Lynch says this is a great show, guys. Oh, what happened there?
What's happened?
What happened?
I think he froze again.
Did he?
Are you there, Bradley?
He's frozen again, yeah.
Oh, good old Wales.
Must have got really cold where he's at all of a sudden. Huh?
Yeah.
I guess he's got a weak connection. I don't know.
So you were saying that you've had you're a contactee.
I am. Yep. I'm in contact with the Zeta Reticula, the shot grays.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
How long have you been in contact with them?
Well, it's more or less telepathically. It goes, way back, but I was abducted in the late fall of 2012, and that was quite the experience. Something that I kept silent about actually for about a year and a half before I come public with it. But, I mean, that was something I had to rationalize within myself, For
it's
time before I became feeling comfortable in my own skin,
Yeah. So where are you based?
I'm in Florida, United
Florida.
States. Yeah.
All right.
Lake Wales, Florida.
Yeah. Apparently, there's I know quite a few people that have experienced things out in Florida and California.
Well, my experience actually occurred when I was in Massachusetts.
Oh, right.
When I retired, I relocated to Florida.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So what did you used to do for a living before you retired?
I was a constable and motor coach bus driver.
Oh, right. You were a bus driver.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Same here.
I used to do a commuter run between New Bedford and Boston.
All right. Well, like the Greyhound.
Yeah. Similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I started.
I used to do 2 round trips a day. It's about a 65-mile trip each way. So I used to do two round trips a day for like 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week.
Yeah, I actually took my bus license in 2002, and I worked under in London. Well, actually, I was based out where not far from where Bradley's originally from, out in Essex.
Oh yeah, that's right near Wales.
Yeah, I was based out in a place called Rainham in Essex, and they wanted me to do a route that went all the way from a place called Ilford in Essex right through into Oxford Circus in the centre of London, and that would have only been like 2 round trips a day. But I didn't want to deal with the traffic in London. No.
Oh yeah, the traffic where I was crazy. Boston, Massachusetts, and at the time they had new construction going on. They were built. They called it the Big Dig. They were digging out tunnels like underneath the channel. They had like maybe 6 or 7 levels. It was crazy.
Yeah. So in the end, basically, I was on. I worked on a permanent late duty. Basically, it was only a small little run, and it suited me, And then I left London buses and moved around a bit. Did a bit of casual bus driving tours and school buses and. Yeah, dealing with loads of little lovely little school.
I did the school bus gig for a while.
Yeah, some characters on school buses, I tell you.
I used to do the high school run, and before we leave the schoolyard, I tell them sit down, right, and then I get out on the main road. I look, half of them are standing up, right.
Yeah,
So I said I'll fix them. I went through the traffic light. I got near the park, and I pulled over to the side of the road. I put the flashers on. They said, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, hey, I'm getting 16 something an hour. I don't care how long it takes me to get you home.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Yeah.
You guys don't want to sit down. I'll just sit here.
Yeah, I had that.
Now, the other guy's sitting down already says, hey, come on, sit down, because they want to get home, right?
They want to get home, yeah. Exactly.
I never had a problem after that.
Yeah, I had to.
in the morning you pick them up, it didn't matter because they're like half asleep. You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but afternoon after they've had their sugar rush. Yeah, I had the same thing. There was one school I did, and they were the most unruly kids out. You know, they'd be running up and down the bus, they'd be ringing the bells and everything. And I had enough this one day, and I did the same thing as you. They kept ringing the bell, so every time they rang the bell, I'd pull over, stop the bus, sit there, and they'd be like, "Come on, driver, we want to get home." And I was like,
what age group were they?
They were sort of like teenagers, about I don't know, early teens, I guess. Yeah. And do you know what? I had this one girl on the bus, and she was like mouth almighty. She was like, you know, and she was like troublemaker, really was, you know. And I threatened one day to take the bus back to the school and let the school deal with them. Yeah. I said to her, you know what? If you don't behave yourself, I'm going to turn this bus around and take you back to the school and let you teach it. And you know what? She turned around and said to me, she went, "What are they going to do?" I was like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah, there's one in every crowd. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but do you know what? I've found a lot of recently is that a lot of their behaviour nowadays is down to being controlled.
Yeah.
You know, that they're under what the program, what we call it. You know, they're subliminal programs by media, by the TV, by
and the way the laws work today. You know, if you put a hand on them or you try to discipline them, they call
exactly.
services,
Yeah.
right? So in other words, it's sending them the message that I can do anything I want and get away with it. It's not like it was years ago. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, when I was growing up, you know, if you did something wrong and you got the attention of the police, they'd give you a clip round the ear, and they'd grab you by the collar and march you home, and then you got another clip round the ear by your mum and dad.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And we grew up to be better people because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But today it's not like that. It's completely different. And that's all by design.
Yeah, it's all down to the you know, the control of the powers that be. It's you know, they're drugging kids by putting fluoride in water. You know, the jabs for the COVID. You know, it's all one big control tactic, and you know,
that's been going on for many years.
Yeah. Oh, many decades. Yeah. You know, I mean, people say to you, you know, when you start saying to people about, oh, you know, they call you conspiracy nutters for like saying, you know, yeah, the government's behind this, the military are hiding this. You know, people don't realise you know, they can't see what's hidden right in front of their faces.
Well, that's what it is today. See, years ago, you know, historically, every great kingdom or society that had risen had fallen, right? But back then, if the people weren't happy with the kingdom, they could uprise and target the kingdom, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Design different. See, today you can't do that because you're not sure exactly who you're going up against, and it's not only an invisible enemy, but it's an enemy that's spread worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, it's designed exactly for that special reason.
And I mean, you know, they have, you know, obviously the military these days, they've got technology that has come not from here. You know,
well, that's exactly That's exactly what we're going up against is the military-industrial complex.
Yeah. I mean, they've got technology that they've bargained with and, stolen. They've, reverse engineered. And, they do have craft that are stored, and if you look back and you look at Concorde, the first Mach 2 jetliner, that was built in the 1960s.
I think so, or early 70s, something like that.
Or 70s, yeah. You think about it, that plane was way ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was supersonic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, that technology back then, and then you look nowadays when you had what was that plane that was the first plane capable of traveling up to 80,000 feet, edge of space?
Yeah.
What they called the U-2.
Yeah.
And you look at that doesn't look that technology, that doesn't look like any technology that we possessed at the time when that was developed.
Well, the technology is always further advanced than they let on it to be.
Yeah. But that technology hasn't come from, they claim, scientists made this, scientists made that. No, the scientists were given the technology. They didn't develop it. They were given it by the military, which were given it by somewhere else.
Yeah, well, the governments, what they did was reverse engineer all the technology, like on
exactly,
the aircraft.
Yeah. Like the Roswell incident, for example.
Roswell, yeah.
And then you've got the British one that happened. I think it was up in Scotland or something. There was one that happened up there.
Right. Bradley's back. Welcome back, Carl.
You're back. What happened?
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
He got frozen in Wales again.
I can't hear you. Blimey, I can't hear you.
Oh boy!
Can you believe that?
We're being messed around with here.
I don't know, Bradley. They're messing with you tonight.
I can't hear you. What I've got to do? Come back in and go. I'll leave and come back in again.
All right.
Yeah, I think they're definitely messing around with him tonight.
Oh yeah. Getting interference from somewhere.
Yep. So when you had contact with the Zeta Reticulates, did they can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, when you had experience with the Zetas, did they give you like downloads, like information?
Yes, I get it. I get it telepathically. It wasn't instantaneously. It was after a period of time, over a period of time.
Yeah.
And I also have the ability to now to energetically heal others.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually like I have empathic powers. I have ESP.
Yeah.
I can telepathically communicate.
Yeah. I experienced telepathy. Spiritual entities talk to me using telepathy, telethought, visions. They can, and I'm very familiar with telepathy. To be honest with you, yeah, very familiar with it.
Are you able to remote view?
Absolutely, at random. I have remote viewed quite a few times. I don't know how to switch my gift on or switch it off. It just happens at random. I don't know how I do it. I'm still, I am currently work in progress, like we all are. I'm on a journey of self-discovery. I'm discovering myself and like what I'm capable of doing, but I don't know how I do it. That's the only thing. I need to learn how to switch it on and switch it off, which I haven't worked it out yet. But I've remote viewed, telepathy. Also, I'm a shadow mage. Shadows can leave my body, and I can remote view through the shadows that leave my body. But like, I don't know how I do it. That's the only thing. These are gifts that I didn't know existed, yet they are real. Jim Andre here, he can perform telekinesis. Believe it or not, yeah. Jim Andre has the ability to heal people of cancer. I've spoken to some of his patients that he's healed of cancer as well. So I know he's a real deal. No doubt about it, you know.
Yeah, that's
what's that gift that they have where you can actually move objects?
That's telekinesis.
Yeah, that is, yeah. So you're able to move objects as well.
Well, I mean, I never tried it, but you know, I just do what I do. I don't broadcast it. I don't do it for. I do it absolutely free. You know, if somebody comes to help, then I help them out.
Yeah. Jim so can actually heal people of cancer. If they got cancer in their body, Jim can remove it. Although Jim is very humble and modest, he doesn't go around bragging about it. But if you come to Jim with a symptom of illness, he can probably heal you because Jim is a quantum healer. But like, he doesn't brag about it, and he doesn't charge for his services either. You know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, there are people out there that, just because they've been given a gift, they straight away think, oh, I can make a quick buck out of this.
Yeah, Jim could make
which isn't right. It's not right.
No, for me, it's not about that.
No.
Or they want the fame and fortune out of it, like for, you know, it's like, but no, I mean, if I was able, because I don't possess that gift, I must admit, but if I had that gift, I would do the same as you, Jim. I would help anybody and everybody that I could.
Yeah. You know, and only one individual, you can't help everybody at once, but you know,
no.
As they trickle in, if they need help, they're welcome to contact me, and I'll do what I can.
I'd say, Jim is modest, he's a healer. I'd like to say we come to the top of the hour now. Thank you for sharing your experiences with Nigel. I'd like to thank everybody who's contributed in the group forum. Sorry that we couldn't answer all your questions. Like MD Iskander Rama, he said he's seen a dark triangle UFO. That sounds like a TR3B to me, to be honest. However, it might not be, you know what I mean? But TR3Bs are triangular as well, and they are military. However, thank you everyone for your contributions. Thank you for watching the show, and thank you, Michael, for sharing your experiences.
If anybody would like to friend me on Facebook, feel free to do so. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions on Facebook Messenger, or look me up on Facebook, and I'll be more than happy
to have you on, Nigel. Yeah, we'll have you on again.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us and interacting with us. And we'll see you all on the next one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time.